Hi guys, Olive here today to talk to you about Booktube's top 5 books of Nonfiction November 2019. As you may know, this is the 5th year that I've hosted Nonfiction November here on Booktube, and I have noticed that every single year, including the first year, that there are a handful of books during the month of November that everyone seems to be talking about. Oftentimes those are new books, but sometimes randomly backlist books will make a resurgence and be all the rage. As the host of the event, I make a concerted effort every single year to watch as many Nonfiction November videos as is humanly possible. This has gotten exponentially more challenging as the event has gotten bigger and bigger. But since I do that every single year, I'm kind of in a unique position to see which titles are repeated. As such, I made mental notes of which books I was seeing in TBRs and recommendation videos again and again, and I've come up with a top 5 list. I thought this might be of interest in case you're starting to think about holiday shopping, either for yourself or for others, or if you're starting to plan out your 2020 reading. So let's take a look at the top 5. Probably the book I've seen most during Nonfiction November is Know My Name by Chanel Miller. A lot of people read this for the Voice Challenge. This is a memoir of a sexual assault victim. Her assailant received an extremely short sentence, received a lot of leniency, and her victim impact statement went viral after it was posted anonymously on BuzzFeed. But she is anonymous no longer in this memoir. She talks about her experience and she talks about how the justice system is failing to treat sexual assault like the serious crime that it is. I didn't see this one just on TBRs. I know a lot of people went on to read this book and review it during the month, and I've heard nothing but amazing things about her message and about her writing. This one is really high up on my nonfiction priorities list. On similar lines, one that I have seen absolutely everywhere in November is The Five, The Untold Lives of the Women Killed by Jack the Ripper by Hallie Rubenhold. This is a comprehensive history of the lives of the 5 women who were murdered by Jack the Ripper, who have all been commonly referred to as prostitutes since the Victorian times, even though that is blatantly untrue. Only one of them was a confirmed prostitute. While we all know Jack's name really well, although that was likely not his real name, since we don't know his identity, he was never caught, it has never really seemed all that important to us as a society to know the names and the stories of his victims. Hallie Rubenhold sought to change that and give those women a voice in this book. I have actually already read this one. It was part of my larger project to read as many of the Baillie Gifford Prize shortlisted books as possible before the winner was announced. Last week, this book actually won the Baillie Gifford Prize, as I did suspect that it would, so that might be another reason for you to put this one on your TBR. A backlist pick that I saw on many different people's TBRs and recommendations lists is The Lonely City by Olivia Lang. This one originally came out in 2016, and while it has never really dropped off of Booktube's radar, I definitely noticed that it had a resurgence this month. This book is a contemplation of loneliness, how we feel it, where we feel it, why we feel it. It also seems to consider the seeming contradiction of feeling lonely in such a densely populated and busy city like New York. As I said, this one came highly recommended from a number of different people this month, so when I do eventually get around to picking it up, I'll be in good company. One that I have seen so much hype around is Underland by Robert Macfarlane. The booktubers that I watch religiously all have been picking this book up since its release over the summer and have been hyping it up, specifically during Nonfiction November. First of all, it's a drop-dead gorgeous book, which does not hurt anything. This book is an exploration of the underworld in myth, literature, and science. I've heard that what the Overstory does in fiction, this book does in nonfiction. I am desperate to read this book. And then last on the list is another backlist pick that seems to have captured interest once again. That book is called I'll Be Gone in the Dark by Michelle McNamara. This is a true crime book that was originally released in early 2018, but it was actually published, unfortunately, 2 years after the author's accidental death. Michelle McNamara had spent years investigating a serial killer who committed his crimes in the 70s and 80s. She called him the Golden State Killer. The case was cold, but it was reopened in 2016, and from what I've heard, that was partially as a result of Michelle McNamara's investigation. This book has been intensely popular since it came out, but like The Devil in the White City was last year, this book seems to have been the true crime pick of Nonfiction November 2019. So those are the 5 books that I saw most frequently on Nonfiction November TBRs and recommendations videos. Please let me know if you noticed any books reappearing on a lot of people's lists. As I said, I try to watch all of the Nonfiction November videos, but I have a limited amount of time, so I'm sure there are some that I missed. Also, let me know if you've read any of these 5 books. Have you heard of any of them, or are you now interested in reading them after hearing me talk about them? I would love to hear that, or any other general comments or questions you may have down in the comment section below. But if you'd prefer to chat with me somewhere other than YouTube, I am on a variety of different places on social media, and the links to all of those profiles will be in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.